Starting us off at number 10, Dark Watchers. So Dark Watchers are humanoid beings ranging from 7 to 15 feet tall. They are cloaked figures, sometimes with wide-brimmed hats that have been reported to melt and merge with shadows. If you spot one, they can disappear within the blink of an eye. They are mainly spotted in California. The earliest sightings are by the native Chumash tribe, whose oral history of the Old Ones goes back centuries. The Old Ones are said to observe from a distance. As recently as 2018, a man said he encountered one. He was hiking up a remote trail and came upon a dark figure. He waved as a joke, not thinking it was a person, and it waved back. Then, he thought he might just be tripping out or something, so he took a puff of his cigarette, and then the figure blew out a plume of smoke as well. And if that wasn't trippy enough, it started flowing and nearly floating vertically, so the man ran back to his car. If you ever encounter one, don't be too wary. They're not known to harm anyone as long as they're not disturbed, so just keep on your merry way and you should be fine. At number 9, Tizaruk. So the Tizaruk is a sea serpent found in Alaskan folklore that roams Alaska's waters. It's described as 7 feet long with the tail ending in a flipper. The total length is about 12 to 15 feet long. It's also called a Cadborosaurus from one academic suggestion. This led to the nickname Caddy being given to the sea serpent that's occasionally spotted. It's been said to snatch people from docks and piers. So a video came out in 2009 claiming that it was a Tizaruk, but some say it was a herd of sea lions. Mysterious sea serpents are rumored all around the world. Shout out to Nessie, and I think Caddy is believable. As recently as 2016, a new species of whale was discovered in Alaska's waters, so really we can't rule out the existence of something else out there. So Tizaruk, Caddy, whatever you call it, Alaska might have it for you. Maybe go take a peek. Hit up Alaska. Why not? On to number 8, the Wampus Beast. So this cryptid is also known as a Wampus cat. It is a jet black panther cat creature with glowing eyes. It's mainly seen in Appalachia. So Cherokee folklore says it was a woman wearing hides to spy on her husband, but guards caught her and cast spells on her. This caused the hide she was wearing to form onto her. One rumor says that the Wampus Beast lives in sewers. But anyways, one story goes that a 9-year-old boy saw this beast late at night. His parents told him to get something from the shed. He went out and came face to face with a jet black panther-like creature with glowing eyes, just as we described. The creature gave a weird high-pitched hissing-like sound, which then frightened the boy to go back inside to his house. Then, years later, on the same farm, the boy had another encounter with the beast. He lost a lot of pigs to the beast, but he did escape the encounter with his life. Number 7, gargoyle. So, you might be familiar because the term gargoyle is used in architecture, but it is also a term to describe cryptids that resemble the gargoyles we see in architecture. They are described as roughly humanoid monsters with leathery bat-like wings. They resemble the popular conceptions of demons pretty much. So a popular example of a gargoyle is the Gargoyle of Glastonbury. This gargoyle supposedly haunts researchers who try to learn too much about King Arthur. But there isn't just one gargoyle out there. One person in the States claimed to see one fly over their car. Their mom was driving and they thought they were the only one to see it, but their mom looked at them, pale as a sheet, and said, "Did you see that?" They described it as a thin, bony, lanky gray thing that was illuminated, coated in like a soft light. They said it kinda looked like a huge, starving, human-esque bat creature, and all in all, I'm just rethinking everything about the Hunchback of Notre Dame right now. Those gargoyles? What if it's based off something real? All I'm saying. All I'm saying. So some people said the possible gargoyle the last person described sounded a little bit like Mothman. So that brings us to number 6, Mothman. If you haven't heard, the Mothman is described as a 6 or 7 foot tall, dark humanoid figure with wings and bright red glowing eyes. This legend began November 1966 in Clendenin, West Virginia. The story goes that 5 men were at their local cemetery preparing a grave for burial. Then, all of a sudden, something that looked like a brown human being lifted off from some nearby trees and flew over their heads. The men were shocked. It did not appear to be a bird but more like a man with wings. And then, a few days later, sightings kept taking place with stories spreading around the entire region. While it has been spotted all over West Virginia, its main habitat seems to be Point Pleasant. Specifically in an area locals call the TNT area where there have been hundreds of sightings. So now in Point Pleasant there is a Mothman statue, Mothman Museum, and Mothman Festival. And honestly, that's just fun hype, and I want to go. So bad. But here's another man creature cryptid at number 5, Dogman. So Dogman or Dogmen is an umbrella term for an upright canine cryptid. They are mainly found stalking North American woods, as you can see by this map of reported sightings. So some describe another version of a Dogman, sometimes called a Type 3, a Sasquatch looking creature with the face of a dog. So here's one story that is similar to how many sightings of a Dogman or Dogmen go down. A man and his mom were sitting on their porch that faces an alley when it got eerily quiet. They turned their attention to where a trash can had fallen over. They thought they saw just a big dog, but it got up on its hind legs. Its height was taller than the security fence their neighbors put up. His mom went inside and he backed away slowly into his house. Now he says he won't walk anywhere at night alone. While there is a large sum of people who have reported sightings where they said they felt frightened, few sightings have resulted in actual attack or harm. And that being said, if you come across a dog man and feel frightened, like you could be attacked, just walk away, because you just don't want to risk it. Honestly, no. And so yeah, we talked about dog man, so we need to talk about number 4. Goat man. He is described as half goat and half human, as the name suggests. Goat man walks on 2 legs and is 7 feet tall. I feel like a lot of these are 7 feet tall or 7 feet long. Just saying. So the story goes that a scientist was experimenting on ghosts until one experiment backfired. Then he was mutated, becoming goat-like himself. He then began attacking cars with an axe, roaming the back roads of Beltsville, Maryland. He has been blamed for the deaths of countless hikers. In 1962, Goatman allegedly slaughtered 14 hikers after they went too close to his hideout. It was written, he chopped his victims to pieces while emitting screams that only the devil himself would make. Now people believe he hides out under an old bridge, waiting for his next victim. At number 3, Altamahaha. The Altamahaha is also called Alti. It is said that it was discovered by the Tama native tribe before the British English colonization. The existence of Alti has been recognized by Native Americans for centuries. It is described as 20 to 30 feet long, with a sturgeon-like body and a bony ridge on its top. Its color is gray with a whitish yellow underbelly, but it can be shown to be green. This may be for camouflaging reasons. It has front flippers but no back limbs, and it has large protruding eyes and large sharp teeth. Apparently it swims like a dolphin but has the snout of a crocodile and big bug eyes. Basically. It's located in small streams and abandoned rice fields near the Altamaha River. So it has not been said to be explicitly dangerous, but don't go near it if you see one. If it has the face of a crocodile, you can bet it has the bite of one too. And with those, you just punch it in the nose. Or like plug its nose and it can't breathe and then you'll be let go. Just tips, pro tips for crocodiles. On to number 2, the orang pendek. So the orang pendek is a mysterious ape of Sumatra, an island of western Indonesia. In the Indonesian language, orang pendek translates to short person. So it could possibly be a homogeneous, and it's believed to be an undiscovered kind of primate species, possibly. It is most commonly described by those who have seen it as a bipedal creature that stands from 2.5 to 5 feet tall. They are covered in golden brown or gray hair and have similar mannerisms to humans. Different than monkeys, they are also said to have human-like facial features. Witnesses have also claimed to see them ripping apart logs, akin to Captain America ripping one up. That's only what I think. It could just be ripping up that way. But let's go on. Last but not least, number 1, slide rock bolter. So the slide rock bolter is a huge cryptid that allegedly lives in the mountains of Colorado. It has a huge head, small eyes, and a gaping mouth. It is said to look similar to a whale with a flared tail that has enormous grabbing hooks at the end. So it was reportedly seen around the late 19th and into the 20th centuries as a popular tale among lumberjacks and miners. Also, it only lives where the slope is more than a 45-degree angle, where it hides and waits for its prey. I'm guessing it uses this angle to be able to slide towards them, as it will sit and wait until unsuspecting tourists walk by, and then it unlocks its claws and just slides towards them. Due to its size, it's said to be able to eat whole parties of tourists in just one fell swoop. Once it has caught its prey, it apparently uses its tail claws to climb back up the mountain and then rest again, waiting for the next victim. Now, skeptics say it may be a drunken lumberjack's explanation for a rock slide, but believers say it may have taken on more of a rocky look to camouflage itself nowadays, as big divots in Colorado mountains say, ooh, maybe it's there and it was sliding, eating the prey. At number 10, we have the Flatwoods Monster, aka Green Monster. So this being has been seen in Flatwoods, West Virginia, and gave it the moniker Home of the Green Monster. It's a 10-foot Frankenstein-like monster in the hills above Flatwoods. It's described as 10 feet tall with a blood-red body and a green face that seems to glow. It was hard to tell by witnesses at the time because of dense mist, but it may also have claws for hands. It was also accompanied by a noxious odor. Now, those that saw it were aged between 10 and 17 and were terrified and ran for their lives. The dog that was with them was frightened too, with the tail between their legs. Now, some say the creature may have come from a UFO that was sighted 5 months before this sighting, and locals who believe say the red-eyed creature could eat people alive and that they better watch out. So, ooh, maybe. Looks very futuristic and scientific if you ask me. At number 9, we have Aswang. Aswang is a name given to various shape-shifting evil spirits in Filipino folklore. People say it stalks prey in the small, rural towns of the Philippines. It is a nocturnal hunter, specifically. During the night, they find prey and prefer children and pregnant women. They appear as regular townspeople by day. An Aswang may have reclusive habits or magical abilities, including the ability to shapeshift into dogs or pigs. They may also walk with their feet backwards, so that's something to look out for. Also, they have a proboscis viscous tongue that they can use to suck blood from their victims. Very gross. And some may make doppelgangers of their victims that return to the victim's home, get sick, and die, to keep it a little more on the DL that they're killing, I guess. Now, some people say the folklore was used as an explanation for murders or infant and mother mortality rates. Others say it's real. On to number 8, Octoman of the Ohio River. So 5 people claim to see it in the winter of 1959. They say they saw a gray-skinned kind of octopus-like creature. One man reported that something came out of the water and that it was just indescribable. Then another man, a truck driver, called the police and said, "It came out of the water, I can't describe it, and I have never seen anything like it before. All I want to do is get out of here and get on to Indianapolis." Okay. The police didn't seem to take it seriously, but anyone who reported it, they were shaken by it. Around the time these reports were popping up, lights that ran down 2 separate sides of a street on 2 different circuits went out, and authorities couldn't figure out why. So some people say that this Octoman might have triggered that. And then a man described only as a scientist in the news allegedly saw a large hulking creature along the rail of the bridge they were crossing. The description: strange grayish creature with a lopsided chest, ugly tentacles, and rolls of fat running horizontally over a bald head. So let me know if you see that description in the Ohio River. Number 7. Staying in Ohio, let's have a look at Loveland frogmen, aka Loveland lizard. So this lovely lizard or frog stands 4 feet tall. It's a frog humanoid figure spotted in Loveland, Ohio. According to legend, a local man reported seeing 3 frogmen with leathery skin, webbed hands, and feet on the side of the road in 1955. He said he saw one wield what looked like a wand that emitted sparks above its head and then ran away. So in 2016, one of these might have also scared 2 teenagers. They were playing Pokemon Go, as we do, between Loveland Madeira Road and Lake Isabella. They saw a giant frog near the lake that stood up and walked on its hind legs. So was it kind of reclusive after people saw its magic, or what happened? What's with the frogmen? I want to know. Really. On to number 6, Menehune. The Menehune are mythological dwarf or pygmy people that live in forests and hidden valleys of the Hawaiian Islands. Apparently, they're great at crafting too. So the Menehune are usually described as playful and even mischievous. They have distended bellies, they're described as, and they are hairy, muscular, and 2 or 3 feet tall with bushy eyebrows over large eyes. Apparently, they also speak in a low hum. This may be because they are shy creatures that sleep in caves during the day and work at night. As I said before, very mischievous. For example, Gloop Gloop Glop said on the Cryptozoology Reddit that they took things from their campsite and returned them later and possibly also stole a piece of cake. Just like a little bit of stuff interacting. But also other stories go that modern Hawaiians mingled with them and that they started using them for labor. And then after that, the Menehune retreated and hid from society because they were kind of being exploited. But historians also argue just about their actual existence, could be saying that it might just be folklore. Some stories go that children who live near the mountains can see them, but adults cannot. A school teacher in Hawaii said one of the kids she taught could see them, and it scared the child. One time the young girl saw 2 Menehune playing an old game with a lava rock and some sticks, and one looked over at her. When they locked eyes, the little girl was terrified, so she went and got a Hawaiian blessing. Felt better then. Then the school teacher herself saw weird lights popping up, and she was told later those were sacred lights. And then others also reported seeing those lights when they had Menehune, or what they thought were Menehune, interacting with them. So what's up? There's a water bottle company that is Menehune, so maybe they make good water. I don't know. But let's move on to number 5, Beast of Bray Road. So this could be a hairy humanoid creature with canine features. It was seen mainly in the 90s in Delavan and Elkhorn in Wisconsin. So local folklore called it a werewolf, but many cryptozoologists called it more of a Bigfoot because of the scientific issues associated with saying a human turns into a wolf, instead saying, no, maybe it just stays a wolf. Yeah. Also, others even just think it's more of a cryptid canine, and other names are the bearwolf and the indigenous dogman. Also, others commented it may be a black bear with sarcoptic mange. This is possible since there is a thriving black bear population in Wisconsin. Although they're more common in the upper third of Wisconsin, they have an expanding population that's below. And all in all, a person would be like, oh, why is there a black bear here and why does it look kind of like a dog? Look at a picture for yourself, you'll get it. So one person's experience was when they were having a sleepover in the summer. They were playing hide and seek in the dark and saw something huge hunched over in a bush. It didn't appear to be any dog or wolf, as it was much too big to be as small as one of those. Its hind legs were thick and muscular like a man, but tapered at the abdomen and had a head like a wolf or canine. So they asked their dad, what is that scary creature? And when he tried to get a look, he had no idea either, so they all hightailed it inside, as I would too. Even if it is just a black bear with mange. Still something to be afraid of. On to number 4, Beast of Boggy Creek, another beast. And it's also known as the folk beast. or the folk monster, after the town it was reported in. In 1971, a man named Bobby Ford told the town constable that he was attacked at his house by a hairy creature that breathed heavily, had red eyes, and moved very fast. He also described it as 7 feet tall and 3 feet across at the chest. He was treated at a hospital for minor scratches and shock after his alleged attack. His wife, brother, and a hunting companion were also eyewitnesses. Other descriptions of it sound similar to a skunk ape. Those other descriptions said the folk monster smells like a mix of wet dog and skunk, which is the same alleged smell as the skunk ape. The folk monster is also said to swing its arms like a monkey, so maybe a stinky Florida ape. I mean skunk ape. Same thing. It's funny, if you look at pictures of stinky Florida ape, skunk ape comes up, so, you know. On to number 3, Manananggal. So either seen as a man-eating, blood-sucking monster or witch, this Manananggal is described as scary, hideous, and often female. It has wide eyes, long hair, and can sprout fangs and claws. Legends say it also severs its torso and sprouts bat wings to fly off and find its next prey. Its name comes from the Tagalog word tanggal, which means to remove or separate. It splits its body to transform and then find its victims. Similar to the aswang, it preys on people who sleep and pregnant women. It is also said to target grooms since it may have been a woman that was left at the altar. So similar to the folklore of vampires, they are said to detest garlic and salt, and so to defeat one you simply find their weaker lower half and sprinkle some garlic and salt on it. Just salt bay it. Done. Let's move on to number 2, Mokele Mbembe. So the name means one who stops the flow of rivers, and that's because it's probably pretty huge. It's said to be a cryptid that resembles a brontosaurus, and Ivan Sanderson, a biologist, even documented its existence. So maybe not all dinos were wiped out by a meteor. Who knows? It's been spotted in the Congo, and while some say it's like its lookalike the brontosaurus, which was most likely a herbivore, some say it's allegedly a carnivore, with some saying it eats hippos. Hippos. Also, anything that can eat hippos is something to fear. I know hippos, they look really cute, but they're so dangerous. They have run as fast as 30 kilometers an hour over short distances and are very aggressive. Their teeth are huge, and they could crush you to death under their weight. So, if Mokele Mbembe can take them on, you should watch out too. All I'm saying. And if they're running away from it, you could be crushed while they're running away from the Mokele Mbembe. Also, it's just a fun word to say. At number 1, we have Grootslang, or Grootslang. Just roll the R. The Grootslang, also known as the Groot slang, is Afrikaans or Dutch for big snake, because it is one big snake. It is a legendary or mythological cryptid that allegedly lives in the Richtersveld in South Africa. It is said to either be a huge elephant-like creature with a serpent's tail or a humongous snake with an elephant's face and gems for eyes. Either way, very creepy. It's claimed to lure elephants into its cave, aka the Wonder Hole or the Bottomless Pit. Sound very different. So the cave is said to connect to the sea that is 40 miles away, and it's said to have many diamonds. The thing is, this beast is in there with those precious gems, so might not go for the diamonds. Some say it likes gems, and explorers can bargain for their freedom by offering enough loot to the Grootslang, sorry. But either way, I'd say don't go out hunting for it, you know?
Coming in at number 10, we have Cthulhu. Let's kick off the list with a classic. We have a big old sea monster in the waters walking around. If there has ever been a cryptid that I don't want to be real, it's Cthulhu. Apparently you go crazy just from looking at him. That's not an ideal situation for me. That sounds like something pulled right out of Bird Box, or Bird Box stole from Cthulhu. Either way, who cares? Here's some footage of him. Let's see if you go crazy. Yeah, with the wings and all, just hiding in the storm. Maybe he just showed up to stretch his legs for a little bit. Maybe he didn't wake up from his eternal slumber, but instead he just wanted to shift his position so he could sleep more comfortably. Or maybe the end of the world will come when this squid god shows us his face and controls all of our minds through a powerful telekinetic link, and all life on the planet is destroyed. That's also an option. Coming in at number 9, we have Bigfoot. This big guy has been caught on camera probably more than any other cryptid. I really want someone to just find him. I really want him to finally be caught so we can finally put this all to rest. But there's another part of me who wants to start dressing up as Bigfoot and pranking people so people go out searching for him and spend hundreds of thousands of dollars trying to find him. Let's cut into a very interesting clip of Bigfoot. Apparently, hair samples were found at the site where the Sasquatch was digging around, so it could have been a real Bigfoot, or it's just grainy footage of a bear. Coming in at number 8, we have a lightning orb. I have no idea what this is. I definitely know that this thing is not of this planet. I feel like I'm very familiar with a lot of the things on this planet. We got bears, we got birds, we got a whole bunch of cool stuff, but we don't have anything like this. What on earth is that? It looks like it materialized out of thin air and then fired a lightning bolt. From just checking out the video, I would say it almost looked like a cell, like it had a nucleus at the center of it, and then there was a membrane on the outside housing some sort of energy. Or maybe it was a spaceship that had a force field around it, and what we saw was either lightning deflecting off the outside of the ship, or the ship shooting an energy blast. No matter what it was, I have never seen that before. Coming in at number 7, we have Lanky Boy. I have no idea what this next dude is, so I just named him Lanky Boy. I'm kinda getting Rake vibes from this dude. If you guys are familiar with the creepypasta The Rake, it's kind of like a tall, pale creature that is like animal-like and kind of hunts stuff. In our next clip, you are gonna see what looks like to be a rake-like creature stalking its prey. You can see it lingering behind the moose. Now, is this footage real? I don't know. The camera quality is so grainy it's hard to make it out, and I think it's a little strange that the moose doesn't run with what looks to be a predator right behind it. Or maybe part of what makes this cryptid so mysterious is its ability to close in on its prey without anyone noticing. Or maybe this cryptid is harmless and had no interest in eating the moose, but was just hanging out as the moose was chowing down. Coming at number 6, we have the Douglas Shire Lizard Man. You know, sometimes a cryptid is caught on camera, and I think, well, they deserve that. If you want to be a mysterious creature that is only talked about in legend, then you shouldn't be out in the open because people are going to take pictures of you. But this lizard dude, I think he just wanted to be left alone. He's all tucked away in his cave when some explorers caught him on camera. See what I'm talking about? That guy had no interest in being on camera. He was just all tucked away in his little hole. But he was very smart and he didn't move, so the people filming didn't notice him. This footage was taken in the Douglas Shire Cave in Australia. Coming in at number 5, we have the gas plant alien. I can't imagine a scarier scenario. Picture this. You're working an overnight shift somewhere. You hear something strange and you look up. At first, it seems like a blur, but as your eyes adjust, you see something that almost looks human, but for sure is from another world. You quickly move towards it, and then the thing darts away, never to be seen again. That's exactly what happened here. This picture was taken in Kennedy, Texas by a dude who was working alone one night at a gas plant. He saw this creature out of the corner of his eye, and then he tried to get closer to it to get a better look, but then the thing took off. He was shook by this encounter, and this inspired him to call the police to have them come investigate this. The police notified him that there were over 30 people who had called the police that night to report a UFO sighting. Coming in at number 4, we have a sea monster. There is so little we know about the ocean, so it should be no surprise that some strange thing washed up out of a beach from somewhere. At first glance, no one has any idea what this is. Look at that thing. It looks like a squid crossed between a tarp and a mud monster. The worst part is, right at the start of the clip, the dude is touching it with his bare hand. Don't touch that thing, dude. You have no idea what you're dealing with. That thing could have acid blood or just be playing possum waiting for you to get comfortable before it eats you alive. Coming at number 3, we have the floating man. Cryptids aren't always strange looking creatures that don't match the biology of anything we have ever seen before. Sometimes they just look like humans but are doing something very strange. This footage was recorded in Mexico, and it shows something that looks like a man hovering several hundred feet above the ground. Now, there have been plenty of theories as to what could be going on here. Some people think that it could just be an optical illusion, that it looks like a man floating in the air, but it's actually just a reflection off of something. That doesn't really sound like a good explanation, but everyone is entitled to their opinion. Then other people say that this could be a balloon that's filled with helium, and it just looks like a dude, and it floated way above the ground, and it's shaped like a person. The only strange thing about that is it's not moving anywhere. The wind isn't blowing it, and it isn't gaining any altitude. It looks like some sort of creature that found a way to hover above the ground without any use of wings or propulsion system, or it's just a regular dude who got its hands on some Stark tech. Coming in at number 2, we have a werewolf. Who knows really what this next thing is? Maybe it was faked. Maybe this is just a prop from a movie that someone took out into the woods to prank some people. Maybe do a little photo shoot to get a few views, or maybe it's just a regular wolf, but take a look at this. that looks kind of convincing, like the way the skin color is changed and the fur is patchy. Also, the snout of the creature is much shorter than an actual wolf. So what do you at home think? Did we find the world's first werewolf, or is the internet punking us once again? And for the number 1 spot, we have Irish Loch Ness. And to close it out, we have a lake monster. This video was taken in Ireland, and I don't know if they use CGI to make it happen, but it looks pretty convincing. Like, look at it, it's just swimming next to the boats, and I don't know how those people just watch and can be so chill. I think I would like pass out from hyperventilating or something, or try to jump into the water so it could take me to its underwater world where everyone's super chill and they have kombucha on tap.